Have you ever met someone who believes they're always one step ahead? Someone who thinks life is a game, and he's the only one who knows the rules? That was Rohan, a young man with wit, charm, and intelligence, but also a deep arrogance that led him to believe he was untouchable. Rohan didn't just lie, he mastered the art. He didn't just cheat, he turned it into strategy. And he didn't just manipulate, he saw it as an advantage. To him, the world was divided into fools who followed the rules and the smart ones who bent them. He grew up in a quiet town, the kind where everyone knew each other, where values were rooted in family, honesty, and respect. But Rohan saw those virtues as weaknesses. He would smile and nod while borrowing money he never intended to repay. He'd ace his exams, not by studying, but by cheating in ways no one could detect. When caught, he lied so convincingly that even his teachers hesitated, and his parents, they tried to discipline him, teach him the importance of character. But Rohan would laugh and say, "In this world, the honest get left behind. The smart ones win." And for a while, it seemed like he was right. His charm got him out of trouble, his tricks brought short-term success. But something was missing. A force silently observing, waiting, balancing. That force was karma. And karma, unlike Rohan, never forgets. One day, Rohan would learn that no matter how clever you are, life always settles the score. The beginning of Rohan's downfall was as subtle as the lies he used to tell. He was in his final year of school, aiming for a prestigious scholarship that would guarantee admission to one of the best universities in the country. He didn't want to earn it, he wanted to conquer it. So he fabricated a glowing resume, fake volunteering hours, a false personal essay full of made-up hardships and achievements he never accomplished. Confident as always, he submitted his application and waited for applause. Meanwhile, a guest speaker visited the school, an old man with kind eyes and a firm voice. He spoke about karma, the invisible ledger of life. "Everything you do," he said, "every lie, every kindness, every betrayal, it all returns, sooner or later." Rohan scoffed. To him, the old man was just another sentimental fool. He whispered to his friend, "I've done worse things and never been caught." The old man noticed. He turned to Rohan and said, "Son, I've seen many like you, and they always learn the same way, when the mirror of life shows them who they really are." He then told a story, one Rohan wouldn't forget. The wise man shared the tale of Dev and Vikram. Dev, a wealthy and respected merchant, was admired for his generosity and integrity. He donated to the poor, mentored young entrepreneurs, and was known to never turn his back on someone in need. In the same city lived Vikram, a man who despised Dev's success, not because he failed, but because Dev succeeded with kindness, a concept Vikram saw as weakness. Vikram devised a plan. He posed as a businessman with a golden opportunity, offering Dev a chance to double his wealth. Tempted by the possibility of doing more good, Dev agreed and invested a large amount. But the moment Vikram received the money, he vanished. He traveled, bought luxuries, and bathed in false victory. For a time, Vikram thrived, but karma is patient. Slowly, his ventures failed. One deal collapsed, then another. Former allies abandoned him. Debt collectors came knocking. Finally, he was caught in a fraud investigation and thrown into prison. Alone in his cell with nothing but silence, he realized he had gained wealth, but lost everything else: peace, respect, trust. His heart ached for the man he deceived. The old man closed the story, looking deep into Rohan's eyes. "What you put into the world," he said, "is what the world gives back." At first, Rohan dismissed the story, but life was already writing his own version. Days later, the scholarship committee decided to investigate applicants more thoroughly. They contacted teachers, students, and local organizations. Rohan's lies unraveled quickly. Not only was his application rejected, but he was publicly shamed. His teachers felt betrayed. His classmates were furious. His parents were heartbroken. Suddenly, doors began to close. Opportunities disappeared. Trust evaporated. And Rohan, who once felt invincible, now felt invisible. For the first time, he sat in silence, confronted by his own reflection. The old man's words echoed in his mind. The mirror of life shows you who you are. He went to the only person he could trust, his grandfather. Sitting beside him, Rohan broke down. "Is it too late?" he asked. His grandfather, a man of few words and deep wisdom, said, "Karma punishes, yes, but it also forgives those who choose to change." That day, Rohan made a vow. Not just to do better, but to be better. It wasn't easy. The road to redemption never is. Rohan began with apologies, real ones. He returned money, confessed his lies, and accepted punishment. He studied hard, not to impress, but to improve. Bit by bit, people noticed. The boy who once lied without blinking now stood with honesty, even when it hurt. Years passed. Rohan became a respected businessman, not for his profits, but for his principles. He spoke at schools, telling students his story, warning them of the same illusions he once believed. When asked about his success, he always smiled and said, "I learned the hardest way. Karma always comes back, so I make sure mine is worth receiving." Every action is a seed. One day it grows into something. What are you planting today?